What's going on, Wikimaniacs? Welcome back to another Wednesday Reddit Reading Live. Hump Day readings. We got something there. We got to figure out some better name. But what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Josh here, joining you live with our boy John.
Hello, Kevin. Really, you're gonna start this right now? We just started. Yeah, I'm join with Kevin as well. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. We're halfway there through the week. Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing week so far.
Yes. John is sore AF right now.
AF. I am dead. So peek behind the scene, and I kind of tell this story on. If you're rich, you'll hear it tomorrow. But if not, it's gonna be on a Friday episode. I did a stupid thing of doing 3 workouts in one day. Okay, so I started my morning with strength training. I did a strength training class, and it was max out day. So I am dead. And then I didn't think about it. Well, actually, I did, but I made stupid choices. I drove like another 10 minutes. I took a tread class that's 50 minutes long. I ran for 4 miles, like 4.2 some miles. I'm dead. And then I took a Legree class at the end of the night. And I am not that flexible. I have the flexibility of a unsnapped, what do you call those? Those little lights that snaps. That's how you hear my bone snaps when like I try to bend a certain way. But this is crazy. Oh, also wanted to tell like a quick story. I know I'm hijacking this moment a little bit.
Ahead.
I had a Wikimaniac recognize me in public for the first time.
You sent this message yesterday in the chat, in our chat.
I did.
But you didn't clarify what the story was.
Okay, because I was gonna save it, but we're live. We're gonna. There you go. Bell said it. It is a glow stick. That's my flexibility.
Glow stick. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I forgot what it was called. But anyways, on the last class that I took, I went to this place called Solid Core. Juliet was checking in first. She dragged me to doing this because she was like, "Hey, you move like an old man. You need, some flexibility in your life." I'm like, "Yes, dear. You go to my boxing class. It's only fair that I go to Pilates so you can see me suffer." So we were checking in. She checked in first, and then I was the only guy there as usual.
Yeah.
And then the receptionist or the person, and her name is Maya, by the way. Shout out Maya. She was like, "Oh my God, I know you." I'm like, "Oh my God, what?" It was like, I listened to your podcast, read it on Wiki, and she was telling all her coworkers. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is the first time I've ever been recognized in public." So she was like, "Hey, can we take a quick picture?" I was like, "We should do it before class because I don't want to look like how I look like post class." So
I look like shit after.
yeah. We took a quick pic, and then Maya was very kind, very nice. She took a picture with me and Juliet actually. So Juliet's a celebrity of her own as well. And then at the end, she made a request. She was like, "Hey, maybe y'all should do like a best of Redditor updates every now and then." I'm like, "If you do the live stream, then you could hear some of them." So shout out Maya. You'll probably be seeing more of me there. I will be suffering every single time that I'm there. So nice to meet you. And you were the first person to recognize me in public.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I think you and Sean are the only ones to be recognized
so far
in public. Yeah.
Do you go out, brother? That's why.
I was recognized by at a wedding, but it was like they already kind of knew. It wasn't quite as organic as your interactions, which is super cool.
Yeah, so if you're in the Dallas area, I go to like so many gyms, so you'll probably end up catching me at some point.
Yeah.
Say hi. I don't bite. I might stink a little. I might swell a little, but yeah, just say hi.
Sounds good. Shout out to Paula who signed up for 9 months, and they say hey. Hey to you, Paula.
Hey, Paula. Thank you.
And I know Wright signed up for a rich tier as well. And then Angie sent $5, says, "Love you guys. I'm going to drive home. Be back in chat in no time. Have a good live." So shout out to Angie for that one.
Mm.
Awesome. Well, we got some stories for you guys today. Like John said, we have episode coming tomorrow on Patreon if you're subscribed. So if you want to, you can subscribe to that or our YouTube membership. That'll get you a day early access and ad-free episodes. This will also be live on audio sometime later today whenever I get that done. But yeah, let's hop into the first one here, John. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I can go first. I purposely picked all listener submitted stories today. So if you have been sending your stories on our subreddit, we will get to it eventually. So yeah. Should we start out with something wholesome? Let's start out with something wholesome.
Sure. Because I don't know if I brought any wholesome ones. So
I'm feeling nice today, so maybe let's start out something nice. And this is kind of nice to hear too, in this, especially in the kind of climate that we're on. So let's get to it right now, people.
sounds
So
good.
this one is a personal story again from r/sub or our subreddit r/Reddit on Wiki. This one is posted by username LilDark74. The title is Wholesome Baby Brother.
Okay. Baby brothers
right.
can be wholesome.
Story goes as this. And hello, everyone from different parts of the world. Eliana say hello from Singapore. Onose, hopefully I'm saying that right. Hello from Nigeria. Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Um,
Black Wolf on our Twitch said, I just got an ED ad. Well, that's fun.
well, I hope you guys are bricked up seeing your boys today, okay?
And then you didn't read Penny's there, the super chat. $2 said, my first live. Hi from the UK.
You were lucky
Ooh.
Sean is not here because he
Yeah.
would have went off about them jackets from what's that? Spud Brother or something like that.
Yeah. The beans on potatoes or whatever it was.
Yeah, ooh, beans and tuna. Anyways, all right, story goes as this. I wanted to post this not for karma, recognition, or any of the following, only to shed some light on the good side of the world. The YouTube channel is my main source of Reddit content, and I know the community is nice here. And I do agree. I gotta say, we have one of the best, if not the best, community out there. So,
Yeah.
my baby brother, 16, has been gay since he was 7 years old. Not because he chose it that young, but because he was showing the obvious signs even that young. He tried the straight route and it didn't pan out, as most of us thought, but we supported him through it anyway. I made it very known to him that I support his choice to be gay. I know the stories of unacceptance, and I also don't see it as my choice to determine what he wants in bed. Most my family accepts him, but my uncle. We haven't told him, but he's also made it very known he had a very pre-Civil War Southern style way of thinking. Yuck.
Yeah. I would also like to just quick clarification. It's not a choice to be gay.
Yeah.
That is just who they are.
Yeah.
But that's just a clarification.
Slight tweak. Yeah. I heard my baby brother in his room earlier while playing my game on my own room. He was talking to his online friends on what I can only assume is about his sexuality. I heard him say, "My sister is very supportive," in a tone that made me want to cry. It was very loving, thankful, wholesome, and all of the above. I don't think I'll tell him I heard what he said because I don't have to. I'm just super happy that I could make someone I love feel cared about. I know this is dark, but I hear dark stories of what happens to those LGBTQ community when their loved ones don't support them and think they're quote unquote freaks. They're not. They're just people like us.
Just normal people.
That wants to be accepted like the rest of the world.
Crazy.
I'm glad that I'm one of the reasons my brother feels he can be who he is and not feel ashamed of it. That's it. I know it's big, it's very short, and I just wanted to get the ooh, that's a juxtaposition. I could never say that about myself. I just wanted to get this out there as a way of telling others that kindness is free. Acceptance is important to those that feel scared. No one should ever have to feel like they need to hide who they are. Remember as well, you don't determine who someone loves. From Lil Dark 74.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean that is true. You should just accept and love. It's so much easier and better for your own health to just be a good person and
Oh
just
yeah.
accept people. It's so much. It's so much. Or what's the word? It's more freeing to just be like, yeah, I accept everyone and I'm okay with that. They're like hating just seems to take so many years off your life,
Yeah.
stresses you out for no reason. Yeah. So I don't know.
I have more respect for people who like say, "Hey, I don't understand this completely, like what you're going through, but I'm willing to hear you out. I'm willing to understand, or at least, you know, I get it. Some people are set in their own ways, but the people who go out of their way to like create laws and to fund things to make life miserable for others who are not like them,
Mhm.
it's insane to me. It's okay if you don't understand it. It's okay as long as you're like accepting that hey, just because you're a certain way doesn't mean that everyone else is going to be a cookie cutter like you.
Yeah,
So just be accepting, be understanding, be loving, and everyone has a different story and everyone has a different walk of life, and that's okay. That's what makes us people.
exactly. Can't wait for the comments. Stop talking about politics.
Well, y'all can kiss my ass, all of you.
Yeah. Shout out to Belle for signing up for 10 months. They always, as always, proud to be a rich, officially supporting you monetarily on all platforms. LOL.
Love it.
I think that's who also signed up for Shots and Thoughts Patreon, which is non-existent with content.
Oh, Marielle commented, John, did you see those? And this is on Patreon, by the way. John, did you see those Toto bidet seats at Costco? They're like $300 instead of the 4K toilet. Marielle, there's like levels to the Toto seat that I want, and I want the one that's 4K. Unfortunately, my butt has standards.
There's level to this.
There's levels to the shit, right?
Oh shit. All right. Let's move on to my first story here, which has 2 updates.
Ooh.
And the final update is 2 years later. So this is recent. This was like posted 2 days ago, with a 2-year update. This is by a wet Sasquatch. I didn't even realize what the username was.
Nice.
And the title is Fired from Walmart.
I mean, they're a shitty company, so hopefully you got some severance, but I don't think you will.
Yeah. I doubt it from Walmart. Shout out to Elena who sent $7 in super chats. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. So about a year ago, I worked selling solar panel systems. This job required me to wear khakis and a blue polo when I was meeting with customers. One particular day, after meeting with a homeowner, I had to stop by my local Walmart to get more pens and a notepad for my work bag. I pretty consistently got asked if I worked there by other customers, and I would help if I knew what they were after, but I always told them that I didn't work there, and they were always kind. So this fateful day, I grabbed my pens and papers and checked out in the self-checkout section. As I was leaving, I heard someone behind me say, "And just where do you think you're going?" Now, a little about me, I try to mind my own business as much as possible, and don't like to get wrapped up in other people's drama. When I hear outbursts like that in public, I assume it's not because of me. I also try to follow the rule that as much as possible. In this case, I assume it wasn't about me because I paid for everything, so I continued to my car. Roughly 30 feet from my car, I hear again, "Hey, you, stop." I do a turnaround at that one because that's typically what you say to a thief. An employee who can only be described as a Karen is marching towards me, 8 different kinds of pissed off. She starts reaming into me about how I'm abandoning my shift and I'm not supposed to get off for another 3 hours. I'm standing there just bewildered because I genuinely have no clue what she's talking about.
How do you know that they have 3 hours left in their shift, but you don't know their
You don't know
name?
who it
Hey,
is.
you? Are you kidding me?
I'm genuinely bewildered because I have no clue what she's talking about, and I try to let her know I don't work there, but she won't let me get a word in. Eventually, she says, "Forget it. You're fired." I wait about 5 seconds and told her, "I don't work here. I've never worked here." She stared at me and muttered, "Sorry," and ran back inside. I'm still not sure what happened, but that's my tale of being fired from a job I never worked at. Hope it brought you some joy.
Is this from r/I don't work here, lady?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Nice.
I didn't want to spoil it. But it's pretty obvious very early on. So yeah, that was the first story. There is an update here.
He did it at Target this time.
We did have a story where someone got confused at working at Target.
As someone who's kind of wearing a red shirt and khaki looking sweats right now, holy crap.
You'd get yelled at.
I would.
So this update was a few days later, I think. The manager in the story apparently has a memory like an elephant. Kind of looks like one too.
Hey, yo.
Savage.
That detail was irrelevant.
Savage.
Jesus.
And is still working there today. I went in to pick up a couple things and returned one thing for my wife. I'm waiting in the return line, and the person in front of me is having some issues with the return, so the employee helping them calls for a manager. It's the same lady. I recognized her immediately, and as it turns out, she recognized me, kind of. She points at me and tells me, I'm not allowed to shop at this Walmart, and if I don't, she'll call the police. I asked why.
What? She's the one that caused the scene.
I asked why I was banned, and she said she didn't remember, but she knew I was. So I left. My wife and I have been cackling over this for a couple days and thought you'd find it funny as well. So that was the full story from 2 years ago.
She needs to manage her memories better because it's very cloudy right now.
Or just stop being so aggressively wrong.
Yeah, it's not that serious, yo.
And then there's a final update 2 years after the original post. So the final update is that recently my family moved to a new neighborhood around the corner from the Walmart. After meeting the new neighbors, I found out one worked at this Walmart. I told her the story because I think it's still hilarious, and she let me know that the manager, let's name her Gertrude, was arrested and fired.
Hey, Gertrude sounds like an elephant's name, though.
Oh. Old Gertie apparently had a history of arbitrarily banning people she did not like she did to me. But nobody really ever complained, so nothing ever got done. She was just shifted from department to department. One day late last year, she got a little too aggressive with an off-duty cop and tried to forcefully remove her from the store, which inevitably led to Gertrude punching the cop. She was arrested and finally fired. My neighbor and most of her coworkers have rejoiced. Karma can be a beautiful thing. That's
beautiful.
That's some karma we like. It didn't happen quick enough. 2 years is too long to be tormenting people, but
jeez, what a Dumbo, bro. Like, it's oh my god. I mean, so I saw this a lot, especially when I first started like my working. I mean, I worked at a bus station as my very first job. Imagine having to move those big ass buses, and my short ass can't reach the pedals. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta use a pillow in this bitch. But anyways, yeah, I've seen some people like who tend to move in like a managerial role, and they get so power hungry and they just want to latch on to whatever little power they have, and they make lives miserable for other people. It's just like, it's not that deep, people.
No.
Like, you work at Walmart. I mean, I could work at another place and I'm not going to make someone's life miserable like that.
Yeah.
It's just stupid as hell.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. It's such a power trip for no reason. Like I don't know, like just be a nice person. And then when you realize you're wrong, apologize and don't double down and kick them out of the store forever. That's insane.
Oh, look, Fa Mulan said Gertrude is the name of one of the female elephants in the animated version of Dumbo. So that's probably why they name him Gertrude.
Full connection.
Uh,
Um,
s- um, my op here, Barefoot Conrosa, is talking shit right now on the Patreon chat. Speaking of being bullied, John, how are you feeling about post Pilates? It hurts. You wished for me to have pain yesterday, Barefoot Conrosa, and that is what I'm feeling.
that's true.
My op here, always giving me shit, bro.
You deserve it, to be fair.
I do deserve it, to be honest. I
uh,
deserve everything that's coming to me right now. All right. I guess I'm up.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So again, all my stories I'm using today are all listener submitted from our subreddit. So this one is submitted by only lower score Sunfish 2084. I'm stealing from you, brother. So am I the asshole for ruining my husband's night?
Uh, probably not, but there's a there is a scenario where you are an asshole. Like he's, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like maybe everything's done. He's trying to relax, and I don't know. There's a potential. There's a potential you're an asshole, but I'm gonna say no.
Okay. All right, let's get to it. Hello, big fan of you boys since the first listen. Apologies for grammar mistakes. English is not my native
Oh
language.
right, these are all listener. Then no.
I was like, Josh, where are you going with this? I was gonna let you cook, brother.
I forgot.
uh, for background, I, 34 female, have a few mental challenges. I have ADHD, severe PTSD, and anxiety, and very lacking in social skills due to being bullied by families and friends back when I was young. As someone with ADHD in particular, sitting down still is a complete issue on its own. I can relate. Sorry
As
to the Wikimaniac
as
who tried to draw me. I will not stay still.
as you read while I'm rocking back and forth.
It's a struggle right now, like, actually sitting down at the moment, but I can't feel my legs, so I have to sit. Um, I have also had several work problems due to not being able to resolve inquiries on time and several delays in projects. I am seeing a psychiatrist and psychologist for my mental issues and working on it. However, the process is not as speedy as everyone would think. And that's a call to action for our leaders someday. Please make mental health resources more accessible to us, please.
Yes. Also, it's not instant. It's something you continually
Takes
have to work
forever.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I am married to my husband, 42 male, and they put this might be against Sean rules, but in my culture, this is completely normal. 34, 42, you should be all right.
That's
Um,
fine. Yeah.
yeah, depends on when you met,
Yeah, I
though.
was gonna say we met 15 years ago. Okay, well, then we got issues, but
My husband works in a field where he is dealing with people with disabilities as well, and very familiar with my current condition as he deals with it on a daily basis. My husband is an amazing person. He is very kind, nurturing, and very supportive. However, at times, I do notice my husband can be a little forceful and gets upset when things don't go his way. He would
mm.
also say, "Don't be anxious," when I have anxiety attacks.
The best way to calm someone down when they're angry. Hey, calm down.
Mm,
Same
mhm.
vibe.
It's very same vibe. Um, uh, as an example, when I told him I don't want to try his food, he forcefully pushed cutleries in my mouth, trying to feed me. At
Ew.
first, I would say, "No, thank you," and just push the cutleries away, but I had enough one day and I snapped. It is my fault for not letting him know sooner, as someone trying to force feed me reminds me a lot of my mother trying to make me eat when I was a kid, and I was locked in a bathroom for not eating. Also, it's not cool shoving things in people's mouths. Pause. But
No. Well, yeah. Jesus.
but
No,
yeah,
either way.
that's a shitty behavior to do. You gotta do it with consent, people. Um, his forceful behavior was also shown in a most recent event. For Valentine's Day, his brother bought 2 tickets for an orchestra, and although they corrected in some comments later that it was actually the day after Valentine's Day or the day before. I don't recall. Um, I was originally not part of the hangout, and I was okay with it because I didn't know who the musician was. Unfortunately, one of our friend had to bail, and I was automatically included in the plan. On the get go, I told him that I would rather not go because orchestra is not my thing, and I told him to go with any other friends, but he kept on forcing me, saying, "Well, you don't have a choice." After a few persuasion, I decided to eventually go. That's coercion.
This is so fucking
Yeah.
like like any partner says, I'm uncomfortable with this or I don't want to do this. It's like, okay, like you don't have to go. That should
Yeah.
be the end of the conversation.
On a week leading up to the event, I had a very terrible week at work. I had a very heated one on one with my manager, and I spent the rest of the week not having enough energy to do anything else, let alone being social. I communicated this to my husband, saying I didn't have the energy or the mental capacity to go and socialize with other, and I am just completely burned out, partly due to my ADHD. I'll go on a rant about that later. My husband communicated to me in a very nice tone that I would get over my anxiety in due time and there's nothing to worry about. I complied, but at the same time, I felt a little disappointed that he wasn't listening to my need for just taking a time to fully rest both my body and mind, just so I can function like a human again. In other words, he was being nicely pushy.
There's
The,
pushy's pushy. It doesn't matter if they do it nice or mean. It's
yeah.
still manipulative.
The day of the event came and I was already feeling terrible. I got quickly upset with minor inconveniences and nothing I did seems right. Long story short, after dinner, we went to the theater and sat on the designated seats. The one thing I didn't expect when watching an orchestra is how silent everyone is and they were so focused on the music. I have been into shows before, musical, concerts, stand up comedy shows, but at least during the shows, I was able to move, laugh, or even speak. In orchestra, at least the one I went to, you have to sit incredibly still and make no sounds. I am lacking the ability to do so because of my hyperactivity. This was getting even triggered by a lady sitting next to me. As I was about to grab my bag from beneath my seat, my bag made some noises. The lady beside me probably felt annoyed and she glared at me and mumbled something. Instead of letting it go and moved on, I took it to heart. Now, if this is a normal show, I would tell my husband that I was glared at by her during the shows and I would probably get better. But because I wasn't able to make any noise, I held it for 45 minutes and not say a word. Not wanting to cause a scene and feeling incredibly anxious, I held it and cried for 45 minutes until intermission. My husband asked why I cried and I told him everything. And this is why I might be the asshole. I asked my husband if I could leave and hang out outside of the building for the next act, and this is not a condition that I could be in. I could not sit still. And to sit next to a woman who I had altercations with is definitely not something I'm comfortable with. My husband, upset, pulled my arm and said, "We're going." I told him, "Please stay. I want you to enjoy this. You have been looking forward to this. I will be outside waiting as this is not an environment I can be in." My husband whispered, "No, you've ruined my night and you have humiliated me. Now shut up and let's go home." Ugh.
Yeah. Fuck. It's like
Ugh.
you might need to contact a friend to get out of
Yeah.
there.
We had to fight until we agreed that I waited outside, and then we went home. It was an awkward silence ride home in Uber, and I could not stop crying. My husband mentioned something along the line of, "You have to earn my trust again in order for us to go and enjoy something like that in public." So, my question is, am I the asshole for ruining my husband's night? I'm willing to take the judgment if I am the asshole. I just needed a couple opinions from other perspective, and I would like to learn more on how to behave on situations like this, as I mentioned earlier. I have very terrible social skills.
No, you are not the asshole. Your husband is abusive though. Cuz that's I just I can't imagine going to anything, like any show, anything like that, and Sienna coming to me and saying, "Hey, I'm uncomfortable being here." And for me to be like, "You've ruined my fucking night." Like, no, that's your partner. You support them. Like, uh, I mean, obviously not through anything. Like, if they're being an asshole, for sure, call them
Mhm.
out. But like, you literally are just like, "Hey, I'm uncomfortable. I didn't want to be here in the first place. Can I like, can I not be here?" And he like grabs you physically, and then says, "You've ruined my night." No,
And
you're not.
told you to shut up too.
Yeah, that too. No, you're not the asshole. Like this on top of all the other things are like I, I think I think you're in an abusive relationship. Like usually it's hard to tell within a story, but that was like there were so many red flags that I just
Big time.
I don't know. I avoid like when we're doing random Reddit stories, I'm like divorce, whatever. it's it's a little bit easier to fling them out. With listener stories, it's harder. just
Because you
because
know
I know
there's
you're
some sort of
listening.
connection there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would go as far as to say divorce because this is abusive. He doesn't respect you as a partner, doesn't respect your, your mental disabilities and stuff like that. Like he doesn't respect you, and that's just he's walking over your comfortabilities, and I I don't know. I couldn't be with someone like that, and I don't think you deserve to be either.
Oh, 100%, Josh. I completely agree with everything you said. And usually like I'm gonna tear the husband a new one too, like after this. But I want to talk to OP here directly first. If you are listening to this live stream, first of all, thank you for sending this. Is it takes a lot of vulnerability to send something this personal, especially how hard what the things you're going through. I appreciate you like being aware that like yes, you have issues that you're dealing with, and you're very proactive on how you wanted to like fix things. You're seeing a psychiatrist right now. You're working with a psychologist to make things better. You're aware of your situation, and for that, I'm incredibly proud of you as someone who is going through like having ADHD, going through like anxiety and all that shit. I can tell you how incredibly hard it is to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. Also saw studies like, and you also talked about like how you had such a difficult work week, that you're having altercations with your supervisor. I did see a study about like Josh, let me ask you this: when you were still working like a corporate job, was like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., like you felt that crash, right?
Oh,
Like you're like burning out.
I still do. I like all every time after lunch, I feel a crash come down.
Yeah,
But yeah, especially in corporate when you have to be on all the time,
yeah, yeah.
you definitely
So
feel that afternoon like hit you hard.
yeah. And that's especially amplified with people with ADHD, and it's even more so amplified with women who are
Mm,
ADHD. There were studies shows us like I don't know what like, the exact precise number is, but it's like conflated to like double. People have like those breakdowns at the end of the day, but like for us that have it, it's like a full on meltdown. I'm just like I can't even function at this point. So
yeah,
I can completely understand like why you didn't want to go to the orchestra, and you knew that you weren't going to be comfortable there. You already told your husband like, hey, this is not my shtick. Please go ahead and have fun with someone else. Invite someone else because I know I'm not going to have a good time. So why should I drag you down with me. So basically, this is what
hmm
she's saying. And he was being forceful about everything else in this scenario. The force feeding shits, disgusting
that's yeah,
behavior.
wild. That's wild behavior to me.
Yeah, and it's like it's very it's kind of like what Josh said. It is hard to like say this out loud because you are a listener. You are probably gonna take what we say to heart. Your husband is not a good person. You can say that he's nice and he does nice things for you, but it doesn't dismiss the fact that he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah,
you know, Two things can be true. There will be times where he's nice to you, but he's also a douchebag. uh, and we don't know like your relationship like that personally, but based on the examples that you provided, it does not shed a good light on your husband, unfortunately. So,
no,
um, and OP kind of went on a defensive here a little bit. So, and they a lot of people on our subreddit have been calling the husband an asshole, and
okay,
I feel like we do the same. We said the same.
we
So they
did the
added
same.
a little bit of an edit. So take it to heart, OP, or however you want to interpret this. It's up to you. They put PS. My husband is not an asshole, and I understand why he's being upset. And they put, I can see how some people see that my husband might be the asshole and difficult to understand that he is actually a kind and supportive person. I'm here to tell you that he is. For example, I'm a dancer and often travels around my city to perform, and he never fails to come and support me because he loves me dancing. Whenever I'm sick, he makes the effort to cook the food, making tea, taking care of the cats, and make sure to make me comfortable and put nice, trashy shows for me to enjoy. And they put 90 Day Fiance, Johnny, baby, come on. I mean, you're trying to pull my heartstring. I'm still calling your husband an asshole. Um, he's the main breadwinner of the family and is willing to spend more money on household stuff, even telling me not to contribute as much as him because he wants to have nice things. Even then, he would still get me nice things. He stands up to me whenever I am wronged by friends and family. That event is the only exception that he didn't stand up for me. Have body dysmorphia and constantly he reassures me that I'm beautiful. He constantly compliments my outfit and makeup whenever we go out. When I tell you he's not an asshole, he's not. He could be too pushy and stubborn, but he is not an asshole for sure, and I love him dearly. I'm asking if I'm the asshole, which kind of feels that I am.
But in
And I
what
don't think
way?
you are. I don't think
In,
you are.
no. uh,
And
like
all those things, oh, sorry, Josh. All those things that you say that your husband does for you, that's a fucking bare minimum.
that's literally what
You
the
know?
chat is saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's expected for a partner. Like, you have
Yeah.
a partner for a reason. They're supposed to be there to support you in good times and in bad. That's what a fucking marriage vow is. Still, kind of my original point earlier, he could be nice. That could be true, but it doesn't dismiss the fact that he has abusive tendencies towards you, girl. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, pushing you into like uncomfortable situations and then getting upset with you when you're in them, like that is not a good partner. The rest of the stuff, like taking care of you while you're sick, cooking food, taking care of the cats, like that's what a partner's supposed to do. like that's what I do for Sienna, what I expect her to do for me when we're in those situations. It's like, yeah, she goes to a marathon, I'm there to support her. You go to a dance class, that's expected that your partner is going to support you. And so it's just like, yeah, those are that's the bar. You know what I mean?
And
Uh,
it's so low.
where he's hitting the bar is abusing and pushing you.
Yes.
That that's what we're stuck on. So he's an asshole for that. And that's something you can figure out on your own. We at the chat, and it sounds like Reddit are giving you our advice. Um, at bare minimum, couples therapy, I would say.
Yep. And
So
if
that
you think this is salvageable and it seems like you love this person a lot, and if he does go to therapy with you and he doesn't see the error of his ways, maybe I hope you can open your eyes someday that this is not as good as you think it is.
no, no. So, yeah, like I said, bare minimum couples therapy, and then, uh, you know, hopefully he changes to be a better person in the regards that, the pushiness and the abusive tendencies, or maybe it opens your eyes to realize he's those things. Either way, I would count that as a win. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, we don't pull punches. Just because you're a listener, we'll still give you the full truth.
We will. And to be honest, I forgot at the beginning, so I would have
Even if I
gone.
did, even if I forgot, I still would have went.
Oh fuck. Yeah, yeah. Chat is read chat maybe on YouTube and
Mhm.
Twitch, and um, they're giving good advice in the chat there. So, all right, John. I was gonna do another one, but I figured we can't do back to back.
No, back to back it. Come on. I'm ready for it.
We also probably should have done a trigger warning for abusive.
I
Uh,
should have.
that's okay. Um,
Sorry.
now I'll do this one. It's a little bit. It's not as heavy. This one is by Ring Throwaway 12345. I think it was posted on r slash relationship advice originally, but it comes with a bunch of updates, so I found it on Boru. And the title is I, 26 female, hate the ring my fiance, 27 male, proposed with, and I don't know what to do.
Damn, he proposed to you with a ring pop or what? At least it's edible.
That's true. It better be a good flavor.
Oh, what would
Blue
be a good flavor?
blue raspberry. That's
Do they got
watermelon.
sour apple? Oh, they
Ooh,
have watermelon? Oh, it's GG's, bro.
honestly,
I love watermelon.
I have no idea if that's what they have, but I'm just naming out candy flavors I like.
Oh, watermelon is one of my favorites.
Ooh. But what would you do in this situation, John?
Uh, as a cheap person, I always blame it on consumerism. So it's like, I don't know if it's sentimental with some sort of a promise later on saying like, hey, this is kind of what I can afford right now, and I promise to make it up at some point. And if like the love is real and it's evident that this person is clearly in love with you and willing to do anything for you, I don't like the whole you have to spend a certain amount of amount of money for an engagement ring to be meaningful.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Raquel in chat spoiling a little bit. I do have there is a picture of the ring at the end here. I will share, but
Oh no.
we'll hop into the story and get the full context before I share that.
Is it like a freaking gemstone of like a penis thing inside?
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. All right.
Wow.
So, a wonderful thing happened this past weekend, which is that my boyfriend of 5 years proposed to me. It was
Okay.
extremely romantic, and I couldn't have planned something better myself. I'm over the moon right now, except for one thing: my ring. When my fiance and I started talking seriously about getting engaged, I told him that we could choose a ring together, or he could ask me questions about my preferences and look through my existing jewelry to get an idea of what style of ring I like. He wanted it all to be a surprise, so he opted out for the latter. I was a bit nervous because I can be picky when it comes to jewelry, but I trusted that he would have enough resources and knowledge to make a wonderful choice. I will also say, friends, family, go to them for advice. I just straight up asked Sienna, like, what style would you like?
Same.
It's just like you're spending that much money. It's like, I want to get you something that you're going to wear every day
Yeah.
and enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to get you something that you don't like.
Yeah. Julia asked me what wedding band I would love, and I was like, I want the one true ring. And she said yes. On black tungsten? A black tungsten? That shit looks sick.
yeah, it does.
It doesn't fit me anymore because my fingers got fatter, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. The only guidelines I gave him were nothing pink, no blue sapphires, and no diamonds. As it turns out, I hate the ring. Not just in a it's not my style, but it'll grow on me type of way, but in a wow, this is ugly and I would never wear it type of way. I feel absolutely awful for thinking this, but I can't help it. My issues with it are as follows. 1, it's huge and gaudy, like the sort of ring you'd see old women wearing. 2, it's shape of a heart. I dislike heart-shaped jewelry, which is why I never owned any until now. And number 3, it's amber. I'm a fan of light honey-colored amber, but this is way too dark. It's also extremely impractical to have amber be worn as an everyday ring. It's going to become scratched and dull very quickly. I just don't understand why in the world he picked this ring out for me. It's not my style at all, and it's clear he didn't do any research. If he had, he would have known amber was a poor choice. I'm actually rather hurt by his choice because to me it shows a lack of care on his part. The worst part of all of this is I have no clue how to broach the subject with him. He and I share everything with each other and have no secrets. So it's doubly hard on me to not only dislike the ring, but to also not be talking to him about this problem like we do with everything else. How can I bring this up without hurting him? I want him to know I love him deeply and that I'm so happy to be engaged, but the ring needs to be changed. I'm freaking out and need advice badly. Thank you.
OP, take whatever the last sentence you just said and say it verbatim. Say, hey, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And if you guys have such like great relationship, it sounds like you guys don't hide anything from each other. Part of being married and part of being a couple is like having those tough conversations. And
Yeah.
this is your first test. You can't spend the rest of your life with someone without if you're uncomfortable about telling them the hard truth sometime or like having that hard conversation. So just peel the band-aid off and just say like, hey, I love you, but I do not like this ring. Can we compromise and maybe let's shop together or something? If that
Mm-hmm.
happened to me and if Juliet, if I when I proposed to Juliet, she's like, I hate this shit. I'm like, well, damn, let's go get something else. Like, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I've done the same too. It's like sometimes she like gets me something like it's not really my style. And she's like, cool, let's get something else. No feelings hurt or anything. To me, it's better because it's like, okay, you're that comfortable to have this type of conversation with me. So if you're a couple and you say you have such a great communication, prove it.
Yeah, and I agree. She should just talk to him about it because it is something she has to wear, every day. So
Mhm.
if you don't like it, you should express that to your partner because, I mean, this is the start of your marriage. It should be based on communication. Like that's a good fundamental thing to have going into it. So yeah, I will say it is on him for not properly
Yeah,
doing the research and
of course.
maybe even taking you up on, hey, let's go shopping for styles. You know what I mean? Like, let's go see what you like. So it is on him for not, actually doing the proper research.
Yeah.
And and not figuring that out. But it is on you now to communicate that to him, and hopefully he has a good response to it. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, there is a picture here. So give me a second, and I will cue it up here.
Let's make sure you don't have any suspicious tabs open, Josh.
I don't.
Couldn't be me.
Let's swap over to the screen share. There it is in all of its glory.
I don't see it on ours, so I'm looking at the YouTube one. Damn, that shit look like a cough drop, bro. Holy shit. That's like a heart-shaped Ricola or something.
Oh,
God damn, that shit look like you can take it to Pewter City and get like a fucking Omanite or a Kabuto or some shit like that. Oh my God.
Pokemon comes out of that. Dude, it looks so bad. It's like, it's literally like, I don't know, like a kid jewelry. Like, you know what I mean? Like they dress up as like a princess or something and put that on. It looks so bad.
Damn.
Yeah, some people are like, it looks fake. It's so crazy. Audio listeners will post this, like we'll have it in the description so you can check it out. But it is bad.
That shit looks like it can give you diabetes, bro. Oh my God.
It almost is the size of a ring pop. Yeah.
It might as well be a ring pop. At least it'll be delicious.
Yeah. Oh man, did he tap a tree for that? Holy shit! All right.
Yeah, I will say this is definitely on the fiance, the boyfriend on this in this situation, because it's like if she said, correct me if I'm wrong, if she said this, like she has certain style of jewelry, I'm pretty sure he's seen it before, and if that's completely out of her style and is kind of forcing it upon her, like, hey, you gotta rock this shit. It's kind of a terrible, yeah, that's kind of a terrible. Yeah, that's damn.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Damn, that shit look ugly.
That's a tough one. So
watch this shit as a prank.
But that would be a terrible prank.
Then that I'll say leave his ass.
Yeah. OP responded to a couple comments here. I think they answered that one already in the post, but OP replying to someone saying it's hard for men to pick rings. They say, I literally offered to pick it with him. He didn't have to make the choice alone in the first place.
Oh, see? Why are you making things hard for you, my guy?
Yeah. Even with his choice to make it a surprise, he wasn't clueless. He knew what things I didn't like, and he knew what I did like by looking through my jewelry collection. He could have talked with my mom or sister to get their opinions on styles I'd like. He didn't do the research, though, and that's why I'm sort of hurt and it seems thoughtless, which I think is fair. That's fair to see.
It is fair.
Hurt, because that's like one thing he was doing by himself to try and like figure out what you like, and he stumbled. I will say, just talk to him about it. It should be fine.
Whatever you're writing here on Reddit, the things you're answering to some of the questions, I feel like you can just say everything in verbatim and it'll be okay.
I mean, you could scale back how bad you
fuck no, don't scale back, bro. Just be like, hey, yo, this shit is ugly, my guy. Fuck you thinking?
But there is an update the next day. So I was not expecting yesterday's post to become so popular, and I was overwhelmed at how many people responded. In spite of the loads of damn, OP wasn't lying about the ring or what a shallow bitch comments, I want to thank those of you who did give me ideas on how to discuss this very difficult topic with my fiance.
Shallow bitch is wild, though.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I could be shallow sometimes, but I can understand why, because that ring is fucking trash.
Like she didn't even talk about like the cost of it. You know what I mean? Like it'd be one thing if she was like, "Oh, you only spent this much money on it." It's like, okay, well, yeah, that's pretty shallow.
And if that's anything worth more than fucking 2 quarters, like I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
that specifically, yeah, That's a
Yeah.
dollar store product. But but that's what I mean. It's not like she was making comments about how much it costs. She's just like, I don't like it, which is fair.
Yeah.
You don't have to, and I wouldn't either. After he arrived at home last night, we had dinner. We got onto the couch to cuddle. I knew it was the best time to talk about it, so I started off by telling him how ecstatic I am to be married to him and how much I love the proposal. I then launched into my main point and said, I'm so sorry to do this, but we're going to have to pick a different ring. The amber is going to get destroyed in no time, and the ring is just too big for my hand. I kept banging it into everything as today as it is. It's just impractical choice in the long run. Which I think that is a great like opening into that conversation. You're just
Man,
like,
she would have handled that conversation better than me. I would have just put it on a table, like, what the fuck is this?
He immediately looked like he was about to cry, which made me feel terrible. He put his head down and said, you don't like it, just be honest. I admitted that the impracticality of the ring was a very real issue, but that I also didn't like it. I said, I'm kind of confused why you picked it because it's nothing like the rest of my stuff and it's absolutely massive. By this point, he was crying and said, that's the point. I wanted to get something completely different. All your rings are so plain. I wanted the ring to stand out so that everyone would see it and know I love you.
Oh, they're gonna see it, all right, but I don't think they're gonna think you love this girl.
All right. I mean, I see the vision, but her whole thing was like, go check my jewelry to see what I like. He was like, nah, fuck that.
Oh, the vision is there, all right. You can see it from a fucking mile away.
I had figured this was his line of thinking, as others had guessed as well. I told him that I understood where he was coming from and empathized that I was thrilled to be engaged, but that I wanted the ring to be different. I wanted the ring to be something that I will like. After all, it will be on the finger for the rest of my life. And that the material needs to be durable in order to stand the test of time. I explained to him how delicate amber is, which he didn't know. He said he picked amber because he liked that there were things inside of it. I mean, okay.
I'm telling you, fucking Kabuto, bro. This is how we fucking start evolving Pokemon,
Yeah.
people.
This is how Jurassic Park started.
You know?
I asked him if he had thought about what he wanted in a ring before he had bought it. When he said no, that he'd just gone to the mall and picked one out, I started crying. I hadn't planned on crying or really telling him I was hurt, but knowing that he didn't research anything about the rings or really think about it just really got to me. I tried to explain my hurt feelings as eloquently as possible, but I could tell he felt horrible for it. He said that the whole process really freaked him out and that he regretted not having me pick the ring with him. When it came time to pick, he was overwhelmed by ring choices and went with the most romantic thing he saw. I don't think you did. We both cried a lot, needless to say. The talk was very productive, though, and it ended up working out fine. Thankfully, he's the best guy I could ask for, just with really crappy taste in jewelry, which he now recognizes. So he wants to pick out a new ring together this weekend. And that is the end.
I mean, good compromise. I will say that ring's so ugly. I don't think Thanos would even pick that shit up, even if the last thing he needed to do in his gauntlet, bro.
Yeah. Let's put that back on screen real quick, just to remind
Hey, that love stone. Thanos like, it's not gonna work for me.
That's probably that wouldn't fit in the gauntlet. It's too big.
It's like I ain't snapping people anymore. I'm good.
That would take out the entire universe, not just half.
Oh God. I mean, look, his intent. He's probably envisioning. I'm not trying to defend his fool because I think he's an idiot, regardless. But like, I think his intent was there. The execution was really, really flawed. But
So, to me, I don't even know if the intent was there because he didn't really do research. You know what I mean? He just went. Like, this is from someone who, like, I went online. I was like, clarity. I was looking up like cut types and like all kinds of shit. Like I was Googling for months before I was like, okay, I think this is what they need. like, obviously you don't have to do that much research, but you should put some sort of thought into it to be like, okay, this is going to be on their hand forever.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through the stuff that they like currently, uh, and I'm going to pick something similar to that. Or if you're unsure, don't be afraid to ask your partner to be like, hey, let's go ring shopping. Let's go choose out something together. Because then
Which I'm glad what happened in the end was that ended up being what happened. So which
yes,
is good.
it ended up happening anyway.
Yeah.
I will say it does sound like the actual engagement was well thought out and everything like that. So I'm not saying he's a bad person. I just saying he missed the
He's
mark
an
on this
idiot.
one. Yeah, he
Yeah.
overlooked this thing,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. But I'm glad they came to a compromise and they are doing the correct thing now.
Same. But I mean, I can understand like the whole like it is a lot of pressure, especially this is why I hate consumerism, right? I fucking hate social media sometimes because you want to have like the grandest gestures, so like you can get people's approvals, and I think that's what his thought process was. He was like, I'm gonna get the biggest
True.
looking thing. So like to in his head, it's like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. But kind of like what OP said, she handled this so maturely. Just having that conversation. I think the breakdown crying part, I mean, there could be other reasons for it. To me, from what I see, it's just like maybe he did feel the pressure a little bit, but he could have avoided all of that if he actually just opened his ears and listened.
Yeah, exactly. But that's that story. So
yeah.
Wild Ring. Once again, it'll be posted in the in the audio, so that you can check it out. But it is one of the wildest rings I've ever seen. I can't believe someone sold that to him. Like,
whoever that salesperson is probably got a promotion after that shit.
Oh my god, they're like, that's been on our shelf for years.
Manager was like, you finally sold it? Oh my god. All right, moving on to my next story, Josh. Reason I picked this one is they had my name on it.
Like someone like tagged your name in it?
No, it's just my name, but my name is very common, so it's
Okay.
gonna be this is a funny story in my
That'd be
opinion.
like
So this
me
one,
picking every Josh named one.
yeah.
There's a lot of Joshes in the world.
I'm pulling a Sean, like just look for his name out of vanity
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
our boy does. But this one is posted by Fuck Show. Interesting. And the title is "He disrespected my mom, so I gave him a gift."
I hope the gift was violence.
Yeah. So
In a
they
video
did
game.
provide it. Allegedly, they did provide a trigger warning on this one, Josh.
Ooh.
So if you want to type that up, people can take their time.
Absolutely.
They put trigger warning for sexual harassment.
Okay.
While Josh is typing that up, hello guys, happy Wednesday once again. If this is your first time seeing us live on Wednesday, we try to do this once a week at least. Try to do it consistently as much as possible. So if you're here, welcome. Hello. Please like and subscribe all our channels. And Sean is not here right now, but he would urge us to say, go to redditonwikishop.com, buy the new merch because half of the proceeds will be going to Planned Parenthood. And most importantly, and this is I quote, this is what he says, buy it because he designed it himself and his feelings will get hurt. So
I spelled harassment wrong.
yeah, we know what your harassment, bro.
1 R. I am terrible at spelling. Also, it's tricky when I'm doing like, if I ever have to do show notes or anything like that, I have to make sure it's the American spelling because that's where most of our audience is. Like, is there a U? There's not a U. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Again, this is titled, He Disrespected My Mom, so I Gave Him a Gift. So this petty revenge happened a few years ago, but something reminded me of it recently, so of course I have to share. And they put involved parties, my mom, my dad, their piece of shit neighbor of 30 plus years, John. Real name because fuck you, John. That's what they put.
I just love that. It was like, mom, dad, sister, this fucking piece of shit.
He's a real piece of shit.
This is pushback. This is
all right. So they put background. 1, my mom is one of the nicest people alive. This woman will pull over to help strangers in car accidents, drive 12 plus hours to take care of a sick friend, volunteer at funeral services, cook for you, clean your house. She's basically a saint. These are all real examples.
Go.
Hi, mom. Please come over and clean my house. My room's a mess, and so am I. Number 2, John got hit by a car. It was bad. Miraculously, he survived but ended up in a full body brace after back surgery or something. For the past 6 weeks, my mom, dad, and another neighbor had been helping him every morning. One of the many kindness my mom extended, trimming his toenails since, he couldn't exactly bend over. I would not clip a stranger's toenails.
No, I wouldn't either. That's
Fuck
disgusting.
that. So, this is the incident. One morning, my parents went over to John's house as usual. It had been about 2 weeks since my mom last trimmed his toenails, and John asked if she could do it again. And then, this absolute goblin of a man, God's a description of me, while my mom was crouched down clipping his toenails, he said, "While you're down there, you can polish the royal penis."
Bro, chopping your toe off.
I'm chopping your dick off, John. What the fuck do you mean?
No, I'm not touching that shit.
I'm
Right.
clipping something else. You kidding me?
That's insane. For someone to do something nice to you and then for them to say that's fucking disgusting. What the fuck?
What? I polished the royal penis? Yes, really. Let's pretend John didn't ask for a blowjob in one of the worst, weirdest ways imaginable. My parents have been happily married for decades. My parents had been helping this man every day for a month and a half. My dad was in the other room cleaning John's house to make John's life easier. And despite all of that, John decided to sexually harass my mom. Please don't ever clip this episode because then I'd look bad.
You, yeah.
John, of course, acted entitled and confused, like he wasn't the problem. That's when I got involved. My sister and I were outraged and wanted to make sure John fully understood he had burned this bridge with the whole family.
So we burned his house down.
Oh, please. Not even in a video game. As a matter of fact, you know how they tip cows? I would just tip John, be like, "Stand up, bitch. Go ahead." With your back brace. Since I lived across the country, I had to get creative. After some brainstorming, I found what felt like the perfect message. I hopped on Amazon and ordered a pair of long-handed 24-inch nail clippers for seniors / people with arthritis / limited mobility. Then I included a very special gift note. They put, "I heard you got hit by a car, sad face. Too bad it wasn't something bigger. Clip your own toenails and stay away from my family." A few days later, I got a picture of the package delivered to John's door. Not long after, my sister checked in with my dad and asked how things were going. He casually mentioned that John must be doing better since he wasn't reaching out as much anymore. That's when my sister lost it and told my parents about my little Amazon Care package. Mom shook her head and said she wasn't disappointed, but my sister said she saw a little smile. Dad didn't even try to act upset. This man was absolutely howling with laughter. Sorry, Mom, but it was worth it.
Oh, don't be so, like he deserved way worse than that. But I mean, that's great.
Oh my God.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck you, John.
Yeah, for your mom to do something so nice for him and him to say some shit like that, like
insane.
Bro, you're lucky I'm not going fucking feral on your ass. Like,
I will drop kick his ass, bro, and just straight up drop kick on the back brace. He'll fall, tip over. Life alert can't even help your ass now, John, because you won't be able to get up.
I disabled it. Fuck me, that guy sucks ass.
Oh my God, making our name look bad, brother. What are you doing?
Yeah, unfortunately, your name's used in a lot of stories because it's like
that's true.
Like John
I do
Doe.
have a basic bitch name.
Yeah, well, it's like John Doe. People use it in place of names all the time. So yeah.
Speaking of Doe, please read it on wikishop.com. Please buy Sean's merch.
Oh man, that one made me angry. All right. Let's move on to the next one here, which has a trigger warning as well. So I'll go back to that page. Trigger warning for gaslighting and abuse.
Oh no.
Yeah. I figured you did a trigger warning here. We'll just come back to back.
Let's do it.
I do have later stories at the end. So
I don't.
What, you don't? Okay, well, shit. It'll balance out somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is titled, I, 27 female, think my boyfriend, 29 male, booby-trapped our apartment. I found something and I don't know how to bring it up. And this was posted by Wood to the Face. I forgot to say that at the beginning.
Did you get wood to the face in one of those booby traps?
I hope not.
What
Also,
is
what
this,
is
like
this, Home Alone? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What is this, like a walking jackass set? What are you doing?
I forgot about that movie.
I used to do a lot of their stunts when I was young, and I regret it. I broke so much bones because of it.
I bet.
I grew up stupid as fuck.
Yeah, we all did a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I don't think I ever grew up, to be honest. Both height and maturity.
It was all stunted.
Yeah.
All right. So, my boyfriend Alex and I have been together for 2 years, living together for less than 6 months. I would say we have a fairly average relationship. We make each other really happy most of the time, but we do have our ups and downs. I'm honestly.
How long? Wait, sorry, 6 months?
Yeah. Well, they've been together for 2 years, but living together.
Oh,
for
2
6.
years? Oh,
Yeah.
living together 6 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do love those posts, like through the ups and downs. It's like, all right.
Damn, bro. You don't have to endure that. You know that, right?
I'm honestly so conflicted in writing this post because I feel a little insane even thinking about the possibility of him trying to hurt me intentionally. We've been fighting a lot recently because of a conflicting work schedule. I'm currently in my intern year of residency doing a night float month, so I'm at work from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. roughly. He works during the daytime, regular hours as a CS engineer, and we haven't spent a lot of quality time together in several weeks because of the lack of overlap. I'm going to work just as he's getting home and vice versa. I've never had any physical issue. I've never had any issues with physical abuse from him. He has raised his voice at me more than one occasion, but he's always apologized, and it's been during stressful times in our lives. In brackets, his dad passed away last year, and our dog was killed in an accident on the street shortly thereafter. Recently, though, things have been happening in our apartment that makes me feel a little crazy. I've been getting hurt a lot, and Alex keeps reprimanding me that I need to be more careful and not be so clumsy. But honestly, it feels like it's not me, but that things are being done / moved / placed. About 3 days ago, I came home from work and was preparing to eat something in the kitchen right after he left for work and was getting ready to sleep. I opened up one of our kitchen cupboards, and the heavy door flew off one of the hinges and smacked me in the head.
Oh, she did get wood in her face then.
She did on it. Fuck yeah, you're right. I forgot about that part. I have a huge goose egg and giant bruise near my hairline, enough that several coworkers have asked me about what happened. I honestly think I had a very mild concussion from it based on my symptoms this week. That's crazy. But here's the thing. As I tried to put the door back together, I couldn't find the hinge or 3 screws anywhere afterwards. They should have been on the floor or the counter, and they weren't. This morning when I got home from work and I was getting ready to go to bed, I opened Alex's underwear drawer to get a pair of socks to wear to bed, and there were the screws, the hinge, and a screwdriver. Last week, I got up in the middle of sleep schedule to use the bathroom, and I slammed my shin into the edge of our bed. There's always enough room for me to shimmy by, but later on, when I looked at the bed and my leg, there were carpet marks like the bed had been shifted about 12 inches towards the wall, making my space smaller. I honestly feel even insane even thinking about bringing this up to him, but I don't know what to do. So that was the original post, John. What is your advice?
Screw this guy. He's unhinged, and then stab him with a screwdriver.
Really got all 3 of those in there, did you?
Had to.
Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, the hinge thing is clear enough to me that he did something. The bed thing, I mean, also weird.
Yeah.
Harder to
Well,
prove.
what is the end goal for all of these things? You know,
I don't know.
especially like endangering someone in their own home, where most people, you know, associate being home as their safe place, their sanctuary, some place where they can be as comfortable as possible.
Mhm.
Opening something as basic as a cabinet or a drawer, and I don't like when anything like head related injuries is just considered a mild concussion. You get enough of those things, it's crazy. That's a traumatic brain injury waiting to
Yeah, it can
happen.
change
That's
it
like one of your,
for life. Like,
yeah, exactly.
CTE is a
Um,
very real thing.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like you get lacerations in your face to the point that even your, you know, coworkers are questioning if there's some sort of like, you know, DV situation happening at
Mhm.
home. Not only is it affecting your physical health, like you're just casually on, right? Like we're at
Yeah.
home, you kind of want to just unwind and just be like, all right, I can, you know, I could turn my brain off, like I can just be here, but you're on high alert the whole time. That's fucking mental
It's
torture,
hard to
dude.
relax.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Um,
making me mad.
Sandra's YouTube username actually said what I was thinking is time to get some hidden cameras. That's
Yeah.
something I would recommend just because like then you have physical proof that he's doing these things, and it's
Mhm.
just uh like irrefutable proof. It's like no, like I could see it. I see it. I saw you did that. Like you took the hinges off or pushed the bed in, and uh, then you can you know bring it to him or just leave. Just for confirmation for your own mind to be like, okay, he is abusing me like intentionally. I can just leave. I don't have to stay
Yeah.
here. Um, oh no. On
Yeah, so,
said he
but
probably has
yeah,
hidden cameras, and
you know
it's
what? I wouldn't put it past him. If
I
he
hope
was
not.
doing something elaborate like that, he probably had thought about that shit already.
Yeah. Um, Unicorn Sporked in the comments said, judging it in my 10 years with a narcissistic psycho, you're not crazy. Start writing these incidents down, take pictures, etc., and keep it all logged somewhere where he doesn't have access your phone in case it
Mhm.
escalates. Having proof will mean a huge difference if you end up having to go to the cops. And I agree with that. And then there was an update 9 days later. Hello, all. I just want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who messaged me with advice and input about my last post. Like the title states, I suspected my boyfriend was booby-trapping our apartment for some unknown reason and gaslighting me. And I was right. 2 days after I posted, our shower head came loose and sprung off, smacked me in the back of the head, and due to the water pressure, I needed 8 stitches to close the wound.
Bro, what the
That's
fuck?
insane. I texted my boyfriend about what happened and that I needed to go into work for stitches because I'm a resident, and he was way too nonchalant. He asked if I had a bump, if he asked if I had bumped it or anything to cause it coming off, and I'd had enough at that point. I wasn't going to ask him about the things that were happening. I was just going to move out / on before I ended up dead. I made a plan that on Thursday I would have a friend come over as soon as Alex left the apartment to help me pack my things and leave. I was worried about any potential cameras he may have hidden, so I flipped the breaker and turned the power off at our apartment.
Smart.
Smart. Jesus.
Very.
About 3 hours into packing up, Alex came home. In the six months we lived together, he has never once come home for lunch, so there must have been a camera planted somewhere with an external power source.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't even pretend to waltz through the door. He bursts open, gets frustrated, and asks, "What the fuck are we doing?"
What the
Not
fuck are
sad.
you doing?
Yeah. Not sad, not confused, straight up angry. That was the only sign I needed. All I said was, "I know about the cabinet and the bed and the dresser. You watching me and my jewelry, and it's done. We're done." I don't know what the jewelry was about. Maybe that was in a comment. Um, this is the point where I'm thinking I am going to end up on Dateline NBC episode. I yelled to my friend in the next room that she needed to call the police to come supervise while we finished packing. Alex decided to take this moment to call the police and claim that I was insane and stealing things from our apartment. 2 uniformed officers rolled up within what it seemed like only a minute and came upstairs. I explained that I was moving out and there was abuse. I wasn't interested in pressing charges, but they needed to supervise and file a report for documentation. I ended up finishing packing and they spent and then spending nearly an hour down at the police station hashing everything out with the officer who arrived first. I took personal leave from work for the second half of the week, and tomorrow is my first day back. I'm staying with a friend right now until I move in with another resident near our hospital in about 2 weeks. Overall, I'm really relieved to be out of the situation, but I'm generally still pretty afraid of Alex and anything he might try to do in the future. Out of an abundance of caution, I took both my phone, iPad, and laptop to the Apple Store and had them do a hard reset/wipes just in case he planted anything. I'm not sure how I should be feeling right now, but I'm just going to say that for anyone out of there questioning whether your situation is abusive or not, go with your gut and trust your friends and family.
Yeah, absolutely trust your gut.
To the listener earlier.
Yes. Yes,
uh,
and, you know what? I'd even go a step further and actually end up filing those reports. You do have documentations for, like, the few times where you were seen for a concussion. You did have documentation when you had to get stitches in your head saying, like, "Hey, this was due to, the pranks or whatever, like, booby trapping he did, like, in the house." Yeah, I'd take it a step further. I mean, law enforcement, fortunately, cops are not the most helpful people at times, but
oh, trust me,
um,
I know.
yeah, I mean, the report is there. There's already some sort of like, an officer that witnessed that there was some issue there. Maybe that could at least, help with your documentation process that there is some danger involved in
Mm-hmm.
the scenario. And I'm not a praying person, OP, but like, I hope you're safe and I pray that, your life becomes better and hopefully Alex stays away from you for the rest of your life because this guy seems like a terrible prick.
Yes, very abusive. I'm glad you're out. Um, and I'm glad you did a hard reset on everything, just to be safe. Because yeah, who knows what lengths he would have gone through to continue to spy on you or anything like that. So, getting everything hard reset and wiped is a great idea. Never tell him where you're staying, um, and hopefully you can just avoid him for the. It's unfortunate he knows where you work,
Yeah.
but hopefully that's the last time you ever see him.
But, also props to you, OP, like, I hope, people reading your story kinda gives a lot of people courage to just not. I mean, it's hard to say because, like, abusive partners, like, they tend to have a stranglehold on you in whatever ways possible, but, like, you
Yeah.
had the courage, you had the wherewithal, like, you had the awareness and the smarts to, get the hell out of the situation, and, I'm happy that you had that friend and you had your family and resources to, like, help you get out of that, but, you probably helped a lot of people and encouraged them to, not be content with abusive people like that. So props to you on that at least.
100%.
Oh boy. All right. Let's continue. All right.
Wait,
So
is yours heavy? I could do
trigger
another.
warning for
I could do
trick.
one that's light.
Let's save that towards the end. Like I'm already
Okay.
on a roll. Like I feel some type of way already. So
Okay.
there's a trigger warning for this
Oh.
one for racism, unfortunately.
Oh. Okay.
And I feel some type of way about this story in particular.
I mean, I would imagine so.
Uh,
Racism. There we go.
all right.
I always
Let's
forget where to put the S and where to put the C.
we don't know how to spell, we don't know how to read, we don't know how to do a lot of
I'm an
things.
idiot.
And we're proud of it. All right. This one is submitted by Key Extreme 5131. The title is My Family is Racist and I Regret Not Calling Them Out.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, uh, yeah, it's probably good to call it out. I do get that, like, constantly arguing or even keeping communication with people like that is tough. Um, I have some family members that are not the greatest, but I just don't talk to them.
Yeah. I will
So,
always say it is very difficult to argue with idiots. So
yeah.
you'll never win.
No.
All right. So story goes as this. Hi, I'm not a Reddit user, so I don't know how to actually frame this. Apologies, but I am obsessed with the guys on Reddit on Wiki. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
And
I keep forgetting their.
you're all listener stories. Uh, oh, Raquel, what is happening in the Philippines right now? The last thing I heard was their former president got arrested because he did not know due process, and now he
Oh,
wants due process. So
I did hear about that. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there. I'm obsessed with the guys on Reddit on Wiki. Had to say that again because it was nice, and would really like to share my story and hear their perspectives. Trigger warning for racism. So I, 28 female, and my sister, 31 female, are half Filipino. Dad is Filipino, mom is white. We have spent majority of our lives around our mom's side of the family and are the only colored ones, including spouses. So at family events, it is very apparent how different we are. My mom's family lives in a rural area and have always been closeted racists. They do swing that door open quite often, just not at us. Well, last summer, we attended a wedding for my cousin, where a good majority of family members gathered. One of my cousins, who I have not seen, I can't read. One of my cousins, who I have not seen since childhood, had a 7-year old who saw us for the first time. Upon meeting, he immediately asked, "You're Asian, right?" And then proceeded to keep asking if we ate dog
What the fuck?
and
That's
what our
that's so sad because you know that kid has been.
learned that
Yeah, like
from their piece of shit parents.
there's no other place they would have learned that, and it's just like it's so sad.
This is a sidetrack story. My first experience when I got stationed in Wright Patterson, Ohio, middle of like Dayton, Ohio, at some point, and this was like this was back in 2013 when this happened. There's this guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but like I was like one of the two Asian people there, right? And he came from like some backwoods fucking, I don't know, bumfuck place he came from. Anyways, he in the military, we call each other by our last names all the time. So he was like, "Hey, Consignado, where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from California, like I'm from San Diego." He's like, "No, where you really from?" So I kind of knew what direction this was going. I was like, "I'm
Yeah.
Filipino, from the Philippines." He was like, "Oh, what are you, Chinese?" I'm like, "I just said I'm Filipino." And then he was like, "What type of Asian is that?" I'm like, "Filipino, you dumb fuck." And then
Philippines.
he was just like, "Oh, so you eat dogs and cats, right?" I was
Oh.
like, "Oh," so you know me. I'm very quick on my feet,
Yeah,
especially
where
when
are you
I'm
from? Do you kiss your cousin?
that's exactly what I said. I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, oh, so where you're from there? Do you fuck your sister?" And everyone was just like, "Oh shit!" And I just walked out. And you know, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm like, I don't give a shit, bro. Don't say that shit to me. Like, it's
Oh.
so disrespectful. Anyways, I I'm gonna continue on with this story. You knew where I was going with that, Josh,
I
because
knew
I'm so
exactly.
fucking. Do not fuck on me, because I'll
Yeah.
fuck that. um, and they put, "You're Asian, right?" And then proceeded to asking if we ate dog and what our preferences were for them. And they put what kind, what part. Disgusting behavior for a kid. For those that don't know, that this is an insult for a lot of Asians. Yes, it is accepted in some cultures, but do your research. Also, I implore you to look up human zoos for more info. I don't know that, so please, I'm not educated on that.
uh,
Anyways,
really racist.
really,
Yeah, yeah. I listened to a podcast about that like years ago. It's great. Like they had zoos with humans in them. Yeah. Yeah.
like it ain't like
Not
real
and
life
and
humans,
not white humans, I will add that.
like
Uh
people.
yeah. Yeah.
Ain't no fucking way this is still
Oh,
real
yep.
in 2025. Are
Oh,
you kidding
well, not
me?
in 2025, obviously.
Oh, I'm about to say, I'm like,
I
what?
I don't know when they stopped doing it, but it's crazy that they did it at any point.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Rachel on our Patreon said, "I teach about human zoos in my job." Rachel, what is your job?
Well, I mean, it's good to teach about it because
Yeah, I
like
know, but like, what?
because not
I'm
not
so.
enough people know about it. It's insane.
Please send me some links, Rachel, because I would like to know. Because this is disturbing. That this is my first time hearing this shit.
Yep.
Uh, anyways, Anyways, I was obviously pissed and I wanted to immediately stop in his tracks, but my sister told me not to because a scene cause a scene since it's a wedding and we don't see them often. It could have been a joke and because he was a kid. His parents were not in sight and very much have the same attitude, especially towards Mexicans. My sister is very non-confrontational and often gets angry when I do, so I needless to say, I didn't escalate it. Well, a little later, when we went to get food, he continued to ask if we were okay eating the food that was there since it wasn't dog. Then mentioned how he talked to my uncle's friend, telling him that we have Asians in the family, and their friend told him, "It's okay, son. We have colored in our family tree too, and they're still hanging there." I was obviously
Oh,
sick to my stomach and immediately walked away for fear of lashing out. Also, I didn't want to have to put my sister in a position where she would be uncomfortable having to defend my actions. I'm obviously still hurt from that experience, but this is my question. What I would a question and what I would like to discuss. I would very much like to marry someone who is of color or different culture, if the opportunity presents itself. But I'm worried about how I would explain this side of the family. It makes me not to want to find a partner. Don't worry, I'm single with no prospects, but still, I also fear that they would experience something like this, would have to change themselves or endure it. My sister doesn't understand because she married a white guy and isn't really interested in learning about our Filipino heritage that we just found out about 3 years prior. I regret not saying anything. However, I also know that they wouldn't care or understand because I've talked to them about how they treat other races. Really don't see them that often, but I would hate if the roles were reversed and my potential husband were to put me in a household that could potentially cause emotional harm. Thank you guys for what you do.
that's so fucked. I do not blame you at all for not, you know, getting into it with them because uh, it's like they're not gonna they're set in their ways. You would hope that they would be like, oh, you know, we, I don't know. You hope these people just learn their like they're so fucking wrong, but they just don't. They're too stupid to understand, and they're gonna go back to their all white town and never have to confront it until the next family event, and then they're just gonna be racist and shitty. So I don't know. Per, me personally, I would just cut the. I would never see those people ever again. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure John has much more to say about this than I
Oh, I'm
do.
gonna go
Because
off.
yeah,
I
yeah,
am
yeah.
gonna go
Go
off.
ahead,
And I
because
am sorry. I'm gonna go on
no,
a
don't be
massive
sorry.
fucking rant here. I hate people who are closed-minded like this. All right. Just because you live in a fucking rural area and all you eat is mayonnaise and whatever the god fuck you eat here,
Ranch.
branch. All right. You piss me the fuck off. All right. And this is coming from a perspective. I'm an immigrant. I came from the Philippines when I was 10, and I'm goddamn proud of my heritage. I'm proud to be Filipino. And I always introduce myself as the Pani Pinoy because I am proud where I came from.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
also proud that I'm American as well. Being able to embrace those cultures and being able to embrace those two things, like I appreciate it because I can blend the two together. What made me mad and what made me sad about assimilating in the US when I was little is that they taught me in the beginning, especially seeing fellow Filipinos myself too, is that they've become so culture washed by Americans because of all the occupation and all that. There's another history lesson behind that shit. Um, that they want us to kind of turn our backs away from our Filipino side because we want us to be assimilated to the American culture. That's why you see so many Filipinos make fun of fellow Filipinos for having thick accents. And that's what scarred me as a little kid because I kept getting bullied by it. So for a longest time, I had an identity crisis. Like for longest time, I was like, oh, I don't want to speak. Nothing I say has value because I sound funny. That I sound like this. My skin is colored like this. They're not going to value me. My white counterparts are not going to look at me. They're going to look at me different because I'm brown. It's because the way I talk is the way I present myself. It took me until like when I was like, when I was 18 up to like my 20s, where I'm just like, what, fuck that. I'm gonna be me, bro. I'm gonna be proud of where I come from. And it's these situations too. And it's like, and there's this whole diatribe about like, Southeast Asians, and we get lumped into kind of like the big three. Like anytime you think of Asians, people always say, "Oh, you're Chinese, you're Korean, or you're Japan." And again, nothing, not that's not a shot on any of them because they're like one of the most successful races out there. They're very well built in the thing in their
To call a
infrastructure.
race successful country. They're bigger.
Country,
Yeah,
yeah, sure.
yeah.
But like they're kind of like more prominent because they
Yeah.
did and Korea got occupied a lot, but Japan and China, they colonized a bunch of places, right?
Mhm.
So like they were more in the have better infrastructure than us. But like Southeast Asians, like us Filipinos, people from Thailand, Cambodians, Mongs, we always get looked upon as like the second rate or third rate Asians, and it's sad. And that's why people always teach us in the beginning. It's like, hey, turn your back on that because no one's gonna fucking know who you are unless you're again these big three, three countries, which is unfortunate. And then to get on another rant about this shit, this is something recent that fucking happened. I started seeing the Department of Navy and the Department of like whatever this administration's bullshit is right now, doing erasures of the contributions that the fucking Filipino people did for the United States. You know how much shit our people like stood with the Mexicans too, like during like like the Cesar Chavez area, we were there. During the civil rights or the civil rights movement, we were there. We fucking contributed so much to the goddamn military, the railway systems and all that shit. Filipinos were there, and now you're trying to erase our fucking history. I hate that so much, and I'm gonna get angry about it to my deathbed
Well,
because why are you doing this?
that's insane too, because these same people are the ones that cry every time they're like, "Oh, we should take this racist statue away and put it in a museum," and they're just like, "It's our history." It's like, okay, well,
Oh
you
my
can't.
God.
Like, it's crazy. It's just, yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously,
And
I've never experienced it because I am a white male in Canada. Like, it's not something I experienced. So yeah, it's
and look,
disgusting to me.
I apologize for the longest rant that I've because I've always like tried to hold
No,
this in, but like you know what, we got a platform and people got to hear this shit sometimes, all right?
absolutely.
And it's one of those things where OP, if you're listening to this, whatever Josh advised you earlier, I'm saying the same exact thing. Go find you a partner. It doesn't matter what their color, creed, whatever religion they have or whatever following they have or whatever. Find someone that loves you for you. And those people that you call family, and I say this so many times, just because they're blood related to you, it doesn't fucking matter. They're never going to accept you for who you are. So why are you going to depend on their happiness and their approval for you to find love for yourself? So if you want to find someone, love them for who they are. Fuck those families. They're never your family to begin with. You can build a family of your own and get rid of all that racist undertone that they provide you in those parties. So that's all I gotta say, OB.
Yeah, and the last thing all of that is it's like also don't feel bad for not teaching teaching them. They're not gonna learn, but trying to teach them because it's like it's not your responsibility. Like it's no minority's responsibility to teach white people like the plight they've gone through or like why they're being racist. It's like that's our responsibility to learn that and act like fucking decent human beings. So
Yes.
never feels like sorry, like never apologize for not teaching white people racism because it's something they should learn themselves.
Yeah. Whew.
Whew.
My heart rate is elevated.
Are your stress levels are up? Oh shit.
Shit. Man. You know what? It felt good, getting that off my chest though, because I saw that. And shout out Janelle, aka Fat Lip, one of our designers, and I saw that in one of her like stories on Instagram, and I just had to look, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And oh, that made me so mad.
That makes me mad too. I mean, especially with everything that's going on right now. With the
We all need whites
deportations.
like Josh. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
The world needs more accepting whites like Josh.
Yeah, I mean it should, but I also don't like that whites would control it all. It sucks. Like that's I don't know.
Raquel said, John, where are you going to teach Josh some Filipino curse words? Should I teach you one right now, Josh?
Sure, I'm gonna butcher it.
You say putang ina mo Donald Trump.
Putang ina mo Donald Trump.
Yeah, you got damn right.
Okay.
Let's go.
I don't know what I said, but I probably agree with it.
Yeah, you just call him a motherfucker, which he is.
I mean, I would call him way worse. So. Piece of shit's starting a war with my country. All right.
Yeah, cut America's power off, please. Do us a favor.
Dog, that was insane when they started when everyone when all the politicians started crying about us doing that. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? The shit you guys you're literally threatening to take us over. oh, they're gonna upcharge our power. Shut the fuck up. All right. Moving into Am I the Asshole story? This one's by Wallaby Overall 3366. And the title is, Am I the Asshole for telling my brother-in-law to get over himself and to quit holding a 10-year-old grudge?
Ooh. It depends what you did to them 10 years ago, though. I physically tortured my brother, and I told him to get over it.
Also, I appreciate all the Canada love in chat.
Hell shit. I'm rocking red because I'm trying to be Canada, you know what I'm saying?
It's tough because, like, I know half of Americans did not vote for him and don't want this, and even more probably don't want this. But it's just like, it's insane. It feels weird being a very exposed country with the largest military power threatening us.
Like, I'll accept hockey at this point.
Yeah. Maybe we should have thrown hockey just so they would get off our back. All right. So my brother-in-law, married to my sister, is a general contractor.
Contractor.
About 10 years ago, my dad and brother were building a deck at my parents' home. They asked my brother-in-law if they could borrow his skid loader, but he said no. They prepared the ground as best they could without the skid loader, but got to the point where they couldn't go on without it.
What's a skid loader?
It's like a little thing with a bucket.
Oh, I don't know shit, bro.
I think it's like.
I was like, does that gather poop?
My dad calls it a skid steer, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Yeah, it's like a little guy with the bucket that goes up and down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that.
So they went to my sister's house to ask again, but found out my brother-in-law went into town. They talked my sister into letting them borrow it so she could. So she took them to his construction lot, and they hooked up my dad's truck. The next part I'm not sure of since I don't know much about towing, but from what I was told, my dad's truck wasn't big enough or powerful enough to tow the skid loader onto the dump trailer, so he lost control and wrecked. The truck, trailer, and skid loader were totaled.
Damn.
The insurance was barely enough to cover the medical costs and the truck. There was none left over to cover brother-in-law's stuff. When he got back to town, he exploded. He threatened to sue, and things just went downhill from there. My parents are not rich, and he wouldn't have gotten anything, so in the end, sister talked him into letting it go. However, from that day on, he wouldn't do anything with our family. He doesn't come for birthdays, holidays, nothing at all. Next month is our parents' 50th anniversary, and we're planning a big family gathering to celebrate. We're also chipping in to send our parents on a cruise to Mexico because they've never been out of the country. I spoke to my sister about it the other day, and she said she's coming with the kids, but my brother-in-law is not coming. I was fine with that, but when we were discussing their portion of the cruise money, I heard him yelling in the background to deduct their portion from the cost of the skid loader and dump trailer. That pissed me off. So after the call with my sister, I called my brother-in-law and told him to get over himself. I told him my dad and my brother made a mistake, but that was 10 years ago and he needs to let it go. He said he'll let it go when they give him the money he lost. I told him he's an ass for holding a grudge and putting money in the way of family relationship. My sister called me a few moments ago and said they're not coming and that I was out of line. We argued for a bit, and that's where it stands. I don't think I'm in the wrong for telling him to let go of the past, but they're not coming to the anniversary party, so now I'm not sure. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I zoned out in like the first half of the story because my heart rate was. I was like, but I mean, kind of like the gist of.
Okay, I'll sum it up quick for you.
Wait, well, it sounds like they didn't want to pay back for the damage they caused. Though,
Yeah,
right?
they never paid him back.
So I mean, I can understand why, because it seems like that was one of the brother-in-law's livelihood, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, but even still, like that's like
It's the principle of just paying someone back.
Also, skid loader's like $10,000.
Expensive, yeah. I mean, yeah, and if insurance doesn't cover a lot of things, like for him to be able to fix that out of pocket, I bet you it's like possibly taking a portion out of your mortgage or something like that. Just the cost of it alone.
Yeah. Well, it's just so much money. It's insane that, and it doesn't sound like they're actually sorry about it. Like
Nah, they're just like, "Get over
Get
it."
over it.
I didn't think I mean, again, I zoned out, but I never really heard any apologies that was sincere, at least in my eyes.
None that I heard anyway. Not from OP, but I don't know about the dad and brother. It sounds like probably not based on the response, but even still,
Yeah, I wouldn't even call that a grudge at this point, like, yeah, I would not get over a debt either. Like, are
no.
you kidding me?
Well, the
If
other thing,
anything, interest, bro, what the fuck?
it's now 20,000 after 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's insane because like he already said no to you taking the skid loader, and then
Mhm.
you were like, "Oh, let's go bully his wife into letting us like showing
Use
us
it.
where it is," and then
So they basically stole it.
they did, yeah. With all intents and purposes, they stole it,
It's coming together now, it's coming together for me
wrecked
now,
it,
John.
and then did not pay him back because the insurance
Yeah,
wouldn't cover it, which is weird because I thought insurance would pay for that. It would just come out like
yeah,
I don't know. I I was pretty sure insurance would cover that. It would just be like come out of their pocket long term.
yeah.
I could be wrong on that.
It's like that same vibe of that one story where we did where it was like the kid went into the, I don't know if it's like a family member's room and destroyed all the books.
Mm,
Uh, it's kinda the same way. It's like, "Oh, why are you getting angry at me for I just wanted to get, like, my part or, my library replaced." Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like that's a human thing to say. It's like, especially if it affected someone's livelihood and to have, like, such expensive equipment like that, yeah, expect to get fucking reimbursed. Are you kidding me? And yes, I will be that petty when it comes to a big
I
amount of money like
I
that.
was way off on how much it costs. It's between 15,000 and $50,000.
That's again,
So much
that's
money.
a big ass loan, bro. Like, some people probably take that out of their mortgage just to cover
Holy.
shit.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Reddit deemed asshole, but they do answer some questions. So they say, let's get something straight. My dad and brother are not bad people. They are good people who made a mistake. They couldn't pay brother-in-law back because he wanted almost $70,000, and again, we're not rich. Dad had to buy another truck because he needed to go to work. So it's just like your dad and brother are bad people. They put themselves ahead of your brother-in-law
Mhm.
after they, you know, destroyed his property.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that estimate of like 50 to 70,000 is accurate because they also probably lost wages and like contracts during that time.
Probably
'Cause that's their job as a general contractor. Like,
general
yeah,
contractor.
you can't take fucking jobs if you don't have the proper equipment for it.
Yeah, yeah. They go on to say, on the other hand, brother-in-law has 3 other sets of skid loaders and dump trailers on his lot that day, so he could take the financial hit while my parents would be homeless.
It
Brother,
doesn't matter.
yeah, he said no. So your brother and dad still stole it. Brother-in-law and sister are way better off than the rest of us. So while I understand your reasoning of paying brother-in-law back, he doesn't need it. I was like, yeah, he has 3, but maybe he has 4 jobs he needs to do. You know what I mean? Like,
And
it,
I don't see it do be like this people who are entitled as fuck to think like, "Oh, he got money, therefore like let's fuck up his life."
yeah,
It's the principle, brother. What are you doing?
insane. And then the last thing here, the cruise to Mexico isn't some millionaire trip. The total cost is about $3,000, and it'll take over 20 people to pay for that. Again, we're not rich. We can barely cover 3,000 spread out over 20 people, so there's no way we can pay $70,000.
Sick. You got $63,000 more to think about.
It's a start. You know what I mean?
It's a start. You better
uh,
cruise your way to his fucking checkbook or something.
yeah, insane. But yeah, that is the end of that story. And like I said, a Reddit deemed asshole. Uh, insane.
I don't blame him. Whew. Thank you for the TLDR version, Josh, because I was
I got you.
lost.
I got some
I
people in
was
chat too.
lost, brother.
Yeah, payment plan. A payment plan's a great idea, Nine Tails.
Yeah.
In chat.
I think if they just worked with the brother-in-law and say like, "Hey, we're sorry that this happened. We can't fully afford this. Is there a way to like payment plan?" Like, like a lot of the people suggested. And I bet you if like the brother-in-law saw like patterns of like payment and the family actually went and did like a sincere apology, I almost guarantee you they'll be like, "Hey, I know you fucked up. Hey, it's okay."
I would say even then he's still entitled to be
Oh,
upset for a
absolutely.
long time after. Like
Absolutely.
and yeah, as Anna said in chat, they're lucky the brother-in-law didn't press charges. Like that's $50,000 worth of equipment you destroyed,
It's not even small claims anymore, right? That's got
That's
to be something
that's jail
bigger.
time. Like you're going to
Yeah.
jail and you're paying him back.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has
Sheesh.
every right to be angry for as long as he feels he needs to be.
Mm. All right. My last story. Is your last story kind of happy, Josh?
It's a bit more uh it
Better.
lighter, I will say. It's not dark.
All right, let's piss people off for one last time for me. All right, this one is posted again. Josh, a reminder: this is a listener sent story, and this
Thank you.
one is posted by Idiotic and Desperate, and the title is simply "Advice Needed."
I got you. I'll give you
We
advice
got you.
whether you like it or not, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Hi there. I'm a longtime listener, first time posting. English is my third language, so I'm sorry in advance if my grammar or wording is difficult to understand.
No, third language is crazy. I
Is insane.
barely know one.
I, 27 female, left my ex, 27 male, a few months ago. So that's a good start. Good start.
Yep.
We have a 3-year-old child together, and we're in a relationship. We were in a relationship for about 5 years. Sometimes things were good, sometimes they were bad. I'm a very active and organized person. He is lazy and a bit of a slob. My family did not like him from the get go, but I ignored it. I didn't really mind his lifestyle up until our baby was born. It might have been silly of me to think that his behavior would change after becoming a father, but it did not. He was great for the first couple of weeks, but then he started to get distant, and I took on most of the childcare and housework. Even when I was working full time and a full time student, I was the main breadwinner, but I also took care of our child and housework. This guy's a scrub.
What the fuck?
Um, Over time, he got more comfortable and neglectful. He stopped showering every day, started to drink a lot, and smoked weed. Sometimes I had to wake up early to clean up after a bender so my son wouldn't be affected.
Yeah, that's when you call it,
Yeah,
because that's now he's hindering you
yeah,
in doing literally everything.
yeah,
So it's yeah. I'm glad it started with he broke up with, or
yeah.
she broke up with him.
This post would be a whole essay if I told you everything he did or didn't do while we were together. So I have a list of things that happened and are important to know. And I gotta say, idiotic and desperate, I do love a good list and bullet points. Thank you. I
Thank
can't
you.
do paragraphs because I'm just like my eyes wander everywhere. So
I need a quick
bullet
summary.
points, yeah, bullet points, very nice. I like. Bullet point one. He went on a spontaneous vacation with his friends while he was unemployed. And
How
I
did he
told him
afford
we
it?
could, and I told him we couldn't afford it, and I was working. He went anyway.
Okay.
Number two, I had a serious accident and was told to be on bed rest. However, he did not take on more responsibility. I was walking on a broken leg to take care of our child and the house, and I'm still dealing with the long term effect on my body.
Jesus Christ.
My toddler found weed in a bottom drawer of his nightstand and almost ate it. Thankfully, I was able to stop it.
Oh, I mean, you're lucky CPS isn't called at this point. Not on
Yeah.
you, obviously, but
Yeah. I went to work for a few hours very early in the morning, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And when I got back, our toddler was screaming and crying in his room. He had clearly been awake for a while, but his dad was passed out. I didn't notice that he had been drinking the night before since I went to bed very early. He was very into one of my best friends and was vocal about it.
what the fuck? What the fuck? Why are
He
you with
tried,
this person?
I mean, luckily they broke up, right?
I know. It doesn't sound like soon enough.
He tried cheating on me with a mutual friend, emphasize on tried.
That's so funny. The other friend's like,
And
I
a
don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, this guy's a bum. I found a stash of Xanax in our car that he had clearly stolen from a person he worked for. And he regularly shushed me or talked over me around his friends. The advice I need might be more of an encouragement. I'm currently trying to get full custody, but he is fighting back. We also own a house together that he currently lives in, and he has not given me answers on what he wants to do with it. I don't care if he wants to sell or buy me out, I just want this shit to be done. I'm so fucking tired and stressed. I'm having doubts with my own capabilities as a mother, and I'm also having a difficult time building up my confidence again. If anyone has been in a similar situation, I'd love to get some advice or kind words. All the love from Idiotic and Desperate.
Okay, I will say chat's probably going to give chat in the comment section are going to give you better advice than I am
Yes.
based on
Also, if
experience.
we are going to link all these in the show notes, if you would like to say some nice words to OP to give them encouragement, Wikimaniacs, we know you're the best. Please feel free to do so.
Yeah,
Josh, your turn, brother.
or legal advice because I have a hard time with that part.
Or not so legal advice, if you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean.
would say as is like you as a mother, it sounds like you are a great mother. It sounds like you'd be even better without him because it sounds like he's hindering you uh, being a good parent. And so, yeah, I would definitely fight for full custody, child payments, get him the fuck out of the house,
Mhm.
and yeah, you'll be way better off. This guy sounds like a piece of shit. I don't know what point there was good parts in this relationship, but it wasn't many for me. And yeah, I think if you bring those few like those just a few points we heard
Mhm.
to the judge, they
Authorities.
will give you full custody because that is insane shit.
Yeah. OP, I am not going to focus on your piece of shit of an ex. I am going to focus on you. You wanted words of encouragement, and this is what we can give you. First off, what Josh said, you are a phenomenal mother, and it is not your responsibility to take care of another grown ass adult. It seems like he leached off of you for long periods of time and kind of put your child in danger.
Not kind of,
So
he definitely did.
in danger, yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say this to you: you're amazing. No one should ever be in this type of situation. The strength and the courage you have to like do your day-to-day things, taking care of your kid, being a full-time student. Sorry if I missed that, full-time student, and also like a full-time working, being the breadwinner of the house. You're doing so much for the future of your kid and hopefully your future as well. And hopefully there's ever a point where you get to just sit down, relax, and enjoy the fruits of your labor because you're working your ass off a lot.
Yeah.
I will say this: maybe it's a good right now because you're going through all this shit. Maybe it's a good time right now to like do a like self discovery for yourself, see recover from like the traumatic relationship that you currently been in. Take some time to like do a little bit of self love. Explore things that make you happy. Do it by yourself. Do it with your kid, and then hopefully in the future, if there's ever a partner or someone that piques your interest or you want to get in your relationship with, hopefully you use the lessons that you learn and see the red flags much faster on your next relationship, and hopefully you have a great life ahead of you, and hope your kid is healthy, hope you're healthy, and we hope you're doing well. So shout out to you, and thank you for being vulnerable and sharing the story with us. We appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Way to cap that one off, John. Good
Oh, you would
positivity.
have done the same thing, brother.
All right, let's close off this live stream with a today I fucked up. Sean's favorite.
We miss our boy. Read it
This
on
is
wikishop.com. Read it on wikishop.com.
if you're listening, hit like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. It helps
Please.
us out. But this is by he's lower score the lower score Zisu, and the title is Today I Fucked Up by Giving My Kid Starbucks Lemonade.
You fucked up by going to Starbucks to
I was
begin
waiting.
with.
I knew you were gonna say it, and I was like, yes, hell yes.
Is your kid a dog? Because they're probably making that space. Because lemonade do get me like that sometimes, bro. Like I look like that one Glorilla trend where I'm like, fuck y'all, like on that.
Oh yeah. All right. So I was at Target with my 4-year-old daughter. I swung by the Starbucks for coffee. She asked for a lemonade and a snack. I saw they had lemonade refreshers with some strawberries and with acai.
Ooh.
She got super excited, so I thought I'd give her a large strawberry lemonade refresher. Large is crazy for a 4-year-old. Those are huge.
It's venti. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Get real mad about the
Yeah.
pronunciation.
Oh fuck. First you order Starbucks, and you get that shit wrong.
I
You
love
really did
chat.
fuck up, OP.
Chat's booing Starbucks and Target. Hell yeah. Fuck both of them. She loved it and chugged the whole thing before I finished my coffee.
She's gonna be a drinker when she grows up. Chug?
Well, about 20 to 30 minutes later, she is sprinting up and down the aisles, not listening to me and being generally difficult. She is a strong-willed child, and what 4-year-old doesn't have a ton of energy, so I didn't think much beyond it. I was getting frustrated, though. My wife showed up a few minutes later and immediately noticed the wild child squeezing every stuffy she could fit into her tiny arms. She also noticed the 2 drinks in the cart. She quizzed me about what I got her, and her face pretty much summed it up. She knew right away that we had a child hopped up on caffeine. Apparently, Starbucks refreshers have about 45 to 55 milligrams of caffeine in them.
Damn.
I had no idea. Through my ignorance, she got her first boost. Well, suffice it to say, one tantrum later, we were headed home. And that's the end of that one.
Large lemonade for a 4-year-old? What the
Yeah.
fuck are you thinking?
Oh, just juicing them out of their mind.
That crash is gonna be nuts.
Yeah. They're gonna be addicted to coffee by 12.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, at least a sippy cup, bro. Like a little, kid's portion. I know it's just straight up ice at that point, but golly.
You can ask no ice, can't you?
I don't know.
I haven't been to Starbucks in forever. But yeah.
See, I'm not going to Starbucks, but now I want like a lemonade, like a nice yuzu lemonade.
Ooh.
Ooh, that sounds so refreshing right now.
My favorite is the 0 sugar pink lemonade that we get.
Oh man,
The best.
before I knew like Starbucks was like a piece of shit, I always got judged for this, but I fucking love the pink drink. And I'll be rocking that bitch everywhere. I'll be holding it like this. Dudes be looking at me. I'm like, what? It's refreshing. The fuck?
Yeah, don't judge me.
Yeah, it's coconut. It's electrolytes, bitch. What? I am hydrated. What are you, you crusty bitch?
Yeah. Yeah, Emily says get her a water, and that's probably a good idea because it'll help pass that through the system a little faster.
What's that word again? Like dilute the sugar?
Dilute it. Yeah.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Oh, Scarlett asked if you can say hi, hey, John.
Hey, Scarlett, how are you? Hi.
But yeah, that is it for this Wednesday live stream. We appreciate y'all for sticking in with us through some of those tough ones. Once again, hit like, subscribe if you really love the podcast. Check us out on Spotify later on if you want to hear the podcast. We're going to be posting that sometime today.
Yeah.
If you really love us, want some bonus stuff, we got our Friday episode coming out tomorrow for Patreon and YouTube members. So hit join on YouTube right now, or you can go join our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultivate Podcast Network, and you get the bonus stories as well as bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, all kinds of bonuses there. Anything else I'm missing, John? Reddit on wikishop.com.
Reddit on wikishop.com. Again, 50% of all the profits for this month will go towards Planned Parenthood. You guys did amazing last month. Was it like close to 800? Josh, what we
just under $800 that we donated to the
Trevor Project.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys. And again, we're trying to make this as consistent as possible for our live streams. And like and subscribe, people, because we want Sean's mom to actually be proud of us for once.
Yeah, maybe someday she'll be proud of us when we hit 1 million.
Yes.
But yeah, we appreciate y'all for being here today. I think that is all. We will see you.
Ooh, Lindsay, thank you for the $6.66. I learned about this like last year. 666 is actually my angel number.
Oh, I think you talked about that briefly.
Yeah.
I don't know what an angel number is, though.
I don't know how to explain it, to be honest, but when I read what it is, it's like I'm an overthinker, and that's exactly what I see every time I buy shit for some reason.
Okay.
I'm the devil.
That explains it better to me, actually. Holy shit. All right.
Oh shit! I hit my mic.
With that, we'll end off the episode. We appreciate y'all for being here, and we'll see either on Friday or tomorrow if you're a patron or YouTube member. Bye.